Exciting time. So, do let me know if you can see my screen now.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll start with the topic. So, a little bit of an introduction about myself. My name is Swapnil Kumar. I look after business development and partnerships at STEMpedia. I've been in this education space, a new age, a new technology learning space mostly for the past 2 years now. I graduated with a bachelor's and master's in mathematics from Indian Institute of Technology, Kumar. So I did a 5-year program there, and back in college as well, I was very interested in coding and robotics. So that is where the interest originated from, and then now I'm pursuing it with STEMpedia. So just about this topic, right? What is hands-on coding in AI learning? So a lot of the coding and artificial intelligence learning has been focused towards theoretical learning. So like I remember my first lesson in coding in college, and it was print hello world. Like it's a very standard C language program, right? And then thereafter there were a lot of things, which are very useful. Again, now I find a lot of use of it, like sorting algorithms, how you find the next biggest integer, so and so and so many different problems. But then the relevance of it for a new generation to find that connect between what they are seeing and what they are learning is very important. So the students these days, they are seeing the Teslas of the world, right? They are seeing Chat GPT, Google AI, and still, if we are giving the learning of Hello World, which is very important, I'm not saying it's not important, but then there needs to be a connect so that they can see, okay, if I learn coding, this is the power that I can have. So that is what I mean by hands-on learning. That uh, by being hands-on, you make it more relatable for everyone, and that is the way that I'm going to talk about. So, just first, I'd like to start with why this kind of an education is important, especially in schools. I think around 70 to 80% of the world, learns in public schools. Most of the Europe, the North America, South America, a lot of Asia, Asiatic countries as well, African countries as well, and then you can consider the major chunk to be in schools, whether it's private or public. And that's why it's very important that this kind of a learning is not only being taken care of as an after school activity or a co-curricular activity. It needs to be part of the learning, right? And now what's happening is, with the very strong push that we are seeing towards technology, right? Whether it's Amazon, again, Tesla, Chat GPT, there are so many different examples that students are seeing these days. This kind of a learning is something that they are seeing, and they want to also know how I can get this learning, right? And then there is also a very unprecedented policy push. So in the last 5 6 years, you'll see so many different governments, mandating or at least understanding the importance of coding learning. So in India here, with the National Education Policy 2020, the government started focusing a lot on coding and AI. In Kenya, we are seeing a similar kind of push. In Europe, in US, you'll see a lot of make block activities that are happening. Microbit, BBC Microbit is very, very popular in schools. So that shows that this kind of a policy intervention is also something that is really pushing coding and AI learning. And then, of course, the future that you are seeing, that is what we have been talking for this entire while now, how the future is very well aligned with coding and AI. So that is the reason why we believe coding, AI, robotics, machine learning, this kind of a learning is very important in schools. But at the same time, what we are seeing is, there is a major gap in terms of delivering learning and hands-on learning. So the gap lies in variety of spaces. One being, there are so many learning resources that are available online, right? You go on YouTube, you go on Google, you'll find each and everything about Python, about block based coding, about JavaScript, about HTML. But for a student, it becomes a bit daunting to explore it only through Google and learn everything. So there is no single point where they are getting all the learning resources from. There is also a lack of practical activities that I was talking about before, right? That while a lot of learning has been theoretical, there needs to be some aspect of practical activity. And then one major chunk that I see, which is a major gap here, is the lack of accessibility from home. So now this might sound like a very new thing to a lot of the listeners, that how is it not accessible at home? But you see, the majority of the population of the world does not have a laptop or a desktop at home. So, by making it not accessible through mobile devices, or not going into a without device coding kind of a philosophy, it almost becomes a division between who has this laptop and desktop kind of IT devices. These are the only people who will be able to practice this at home, take this up in a much more serious way. And that is one gap that we see is very very important to fulfill, right? That the accessibility should also be through mobile phones, which is the more popular form of IT device in most of these in most of the homes. And then finally, when we are talking about schools, one thing that becomes very important is the learning levels of the teachers. So the teachers, because this is a very new concept, it started in around 5 6 years back. The teachers still have to do a lot of work to upskill themselves, to build that capacity to take up coding and AI classes, and which is something that can become a challenge in the current scenario. So what we have done is we have taken a certain kind of a take on how we can devise this kind of a hands-on learning. So we believe there can be a great ecosystem where we are providing the learning through a structured curriculum. So the point around there not being a learning resource is being catered here, and then this curriculum is being delivered using a software and a hardware. So when there is this blend, that is the point where you get a lot of practical activities going on. And then also on the point of on the point of teachers capacity building, there needs to be teacher development programs, supporting this, and around the year hand holding. But then, so that is the part how learning will go. But then you'll see in most of the school education in coding, there's no standardized exam. Like even in colleges, there's no standardized exam to test, okay, these are the learning levels at which you need to be in grade 3 4 5 6 7 8 and so in some schools, of course, there are but then there is no, I'll say, universally accepted way of checking the learning levels. And we believe competition can be a great motivator for that. Competition really helps in exploring the hidden talents, the hidden you know a good skill that some students have learned. They can at least portray that through these competitions. So this is something that we are focusing on. I'll quickly jump upon how we have taken a take on it. Then I'll go into the space of how what this kind of a ecosystem can deliver. So, in terms of a structured curriculum, we believe a good way can be where it is done in three stages. The initial stage is more focused towards game based learning, it's just experiencing, right? Storyboarding, creating a game like a Flappy Bird, where the bird tracks your nose, and you move your nose like this, and then the bird tracks your nose, and that's the way it goes. It's a very simple activity, very easy to make even on Scratch. You'll see it happening in so many places. But then that is the kind of thing that builds that relevance, because students see those Flappy Bird games and they're like, oh, I can create it in 8 or 10 blocks of code. and that is the initial stage that we believe in into the coding and AI subjects. But then in this middle stage, still the focus is more towards experiential learning. And then 9 to 12, again, to bridge it to the college education, there needs to be a good blend of theoretical and practical activities. So that is something that we believe in. Also, coming to the platform, which is PictoBlocks, I think as Aaron also mentioned, right, it's one of the most popular platforms that we could deliver, and thankfully it is being used by a lot of students. Very recently, we crossed a monthly average user base of around 100,000. In this, what we are trying to do is we have blended the Scratch learning and the Python learning on the same platform, and then it is we have made it accessible across all kind of platforms, whether it is Windows, Android, iOS, tablets, mobile phones, desktops, even for the matter Linux devices we support. So this really helps students in building the projects even at home very easily, exploring everything at home, even when they don't have, like, most of the younger kids don't have their own laptops, right? So they can also experience coding through this platform, right? We have also built a lot on the machine learning capabilities. We are also working on a new AR VR module on this. So there's a lot of development that we are also doing, but we believe this is a platform which has worked very well for us in terms of the coding learning. That we will see also in some of the videos ahead. And then finally, on the hardware front, we believe there needs to be a good blend. So we believe microbit or Lego, that adds that sense of uh, a physical entity being programmed. It's for a child. I've done student workshops for the past 1.5 years. What I've seen is whenever we are going into a workshop and we first teach the students, okay, this is how you can create a Flappy Bird, blah 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 blah. This is how you do it on the screen. They're like, okay, fine, it's okay. The moment you introduce robotics into it, and they see that they have the ability to program their own robots, they really enjoy it. And that really creates a lot of interest. And that is the case that we are also seeing. So we have created our own hardware, but there needs to be some kind of hardware integration to make it hands on. What we see is this kind of a software hardware integration really expands the possibilities of the different kind of activities that you can do, whether it is waste collection systems, self-driving cars, weather reporting robots, and so it's a wide space, and you can get into this. Now, I'll come to the part of what you can expect as an outcome of this kind of learning. Right? So this is a very interesting case, one of my favorite ones. Um, this is a kid by the name of Abdurrahman. He is based out of Algeria. He is in regular touch with us, and he's created something that I really wanted to show you guys. Do let me know if the audio is there for this video. Is the audio there? No. Okay.
You can
Just
just
I'll see it. Just a moment. I'll reshare the screen.
I really agree the hands-on practical coding that the student love it, but how can you put it to real life? And
Yeah.
that's the problem. Yes.
Yeah. I think that is the essence of it. Trying to figure out a way how to show this, because just a second. Just a moment. But I think one point that I also wanted to highlight is that, independent of whether you're using PictoBlocks, not using PictoBlocks, now, independent of that, whether you are using one kind of platform or other, I think the good the thing to take away is that we need to have a hardware component with it. Without a hardware component, it becomes a big challenge to deliver a good coding and AI learning. In my experience, the students start losing interest after a while, and that really can be a big bummer. Just see. Okay, wait. Found another way of showing you this video so that because there's this feature that you can only share the tab audio for the Chrome tabs. So I'll have to open the PPT on Chrome and see how to get it done. Just a moment. Yeah. Yes. So just I can share the screen now, guys. Yeah. Um, Let me know if the audio is visible or audible now.
I have fever. We sleep one time around the meal, once in the morning and once in the evening. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdurrahman.
Hello everyone, my name is Samriddhi.
So our project has decided to ensure his safety on roads and will notify his family, police, and the ambulance. The ambulance arrive immediately.
I am Sandra.
Let's start. It's food. It's metal. It's plastic.
Hi. I'm Lee. Hi everyone. My name is Vihan.
Changes on Earth is now added. Please show your book into the camera. That crew is now added.
Please concentrate on driving. Wake up. Please concentrate on driving. Hello, my name is Abdurrahman.
So I wanted to come to this very specific example because I think this is the peak moment for me where a student is solving their own problems using coding and AI. So what Abdurrahman is doing is he has programmed his entire timetable on block-based coding. Behind the book, there is a QR code, as you can see here, and by scanning this QR code, the code the program tells him whether this is a good book to take or a bad book. Like bad means you should not take it that day. So on a Tuesday, you will not, let's say, take your maths or your science book, and the other books you have to take, and so and so. And hence reducing their own book load that they are carrying. And that is the when we connect it to real life problems and the hardware component, this is the kind of innovation that we can push in. Even I can't imagine it using Hello World, just so to say. And that is the power of it. We will see some more examples, and then then I think I'll just wrap it up, take up some questions, and see.
Hello, I am Ang. Hello, I'm Ik.
I'm Rose Heavy.
I'm Abdullah here.
And I'm Jod Akkad.
Hello, I am Guinness.
Alexa,
Hi, how I can help you?
open the window.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Hala Abara. My leg is broken. This is the result. It is obvious that broken. Hello, my name is Amira.
Mike,
Yes,
tell me the time.
16 hours 39 minutes.
My name is Madia Chabe.
So yeah, that was one of the examples that how we are helping deliver it. But yeah, that is just one of such examples. So I'm happy to take the questions. You can also share your feedback with me, and I'll be happy to take. Yeah. So, Saran, over to you.
Yes, thank you for sharing, and it's very encouraging again as a STEM educator as well. But I will leave the floor to the audience here. I think we have different like STEM educators from all around the world. So jump in, ask your question before the session ends. There was a couple of key points I really agree. Hands-on learning and the teacher learning, because as when I was younger, I don't even have any jacket job. Internet was not even a thing yet back then.
Exactly, exactly. And now you see these kids, these like 5 year, 6 year old kids, you give them a mobile phone, they'll almost do a debugging for you. That is the kind
Yeah,
of that is the
yeah.
kind of learning levels that they have. But that is also why it is very important to do that real life connectivity. Because the moment you start giving them again that kind of a knowledge, okay, this is how you print hello world,
Mm,
that student can do that also on Microsoft Word, just so to say. Right?
yeah.
So it's important to show that. Great. No, no, I completely agree.
Mm,
Would you happen to have any
yeah.
demo blocks for teachers to go on board? Because I think in Hong Kong it's very difficult to get anything done without actually the teachers on board, right? So
Yes.
yeah. So would you have any
Um,
sessions that you actually
I'm gonna mute
bring
myself.
teachers on board? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We completely understand the importance of it. I'll show you one thing we were doing last year. It's known as educators. Just a second. It's educators boot camp. So it's just a learning module where we an AI, get them to the crux of it in a very hands-on way. Again, a very simple way. This is completely free of cost. There's no charges involved, because again our objective is to educate as many teachers as possible. Last year we had around 2,000 educators participating in it. What I'll suggest is you can share your contact with us. You can do a scan here. You can also note down the email ID. Just drop a hello to us, and then we do organize a lot of educator sessions to share with you. In India this year we did around 100 school setups where we have set up this kind of a ecosystem. In all of them we do physical teacher training. Like we believe that even a virtual training can have a certain level of impact, but physical intervention definitely it delivers a lot more value. So it is of prime importance to us. Do share your details with us. We'll get back to you, and we do organize the sessions. As I shared, educators bootcamp will be definitely coming up this year as well.
Yeah. Actually, my colleague actually signed up and got a certificate, and she shared that with me.
Yeah, and that is the thing. Even I'll share you a very interesting insight, right? Why I believe hands-on learning is a very great thing. You can go on YouTube, you can search pictoblogs, and I'm not boasting about pictoblogs. That is not the idea, right? You can take any coding platform for that example, for that matter. Just sort it by the upload date. You will see most of it is just students building their own projects and creating videos of it.
Mm, mm, mm,
uh,
yeah,
right.
agree.
And even for scratch, scratch started as a college project, and now it's the most used coding language for schools. So that is the idea, I think. Hands-on learning, and even we are also not aware most of the times how this is happening, but somewhere there is a lot of benefit that can be delivered through this.
Okay. I think, yeah, the last question maybe from Wilson. He found that the today content is very useful. Is there any chance that you share the PowerPoint?
Yeah, I can share the PowerPoint. There is no challenge about it. Just as I shared, just get in touch with me. I'll definitely share it with you. Don't worry.
Yes, yes. Cool. Yeah, please grab his contact. I'm personally using PictoBlocks like every day for my workshop. Really, thank you for that invention. Like AI, just make teaching AI very handy in Hong Kong. Yes.
No, I agree. And we do work in Hong Kong, thankfully with MakerPay Foundation, we are also having a good user base in Hong Kong. But we'll definitely see, Sarah, maybe towards this year, if an opportunity comes, let's have a good physical session as well. It will be a great opportunity for us as well.
Yes, definitely. Let's keep our fire up and reach out more students with hands-on education, so they can
Yes,
actually execute more and like learn less because AI is learning a lot of stuff for us. Let's
yeah,
just use the AI to learn and then we practice it.
yeah.
Yeah. For the further ado, yeah, thank you again for the sharing session.